All right. So training a dog can be difficult. It can be easy depending on your level of expertise when it comes down to training your dog. Also, when you go to the Google search when it comes down to dog training, you may find several things out there about different techniques to train your dog. But today I want to talk to you about the top three positive reinforcement techniques that actually get you that works for your dog. Okay, because when we talk about positive reinforcement, just a reminder, positive reinforcement is rewarding your dog for the lovely things that they do, reinforcing the positive behavior. So when it comes to positive reinforcement, reinforcing the behavior, we're talking about using rewards such as food. We can use toys, we can use play. So there's a various amount of things we can use when we talk about positive reinforcement, but we're definitely talking about just rewarding your dog for the good behaviors that they do and not punishing them. Um, there's some things that you can do to make it really effective for you. So one thing I talk about with families when it comes down to dog training is consistency. And if you've trained with me, you'll hear me say, if you've never trained a dog like sits or whatever, a day in your life, just by you being consistent in your everyday routine and the things you do with your dog, they will actually learn what they need to do. So you want to make sure if you're doing if you're working with if you're doing positive reinforcement training and you're working with your dog, you just want to try to be consistent. So what that means is every time you see a dog doing a good behavior, so if you see a dog sitting and they usually jump, or you see them lying down, you want to go ahead and either give them a little pet on the head. If we have treats, you want to reward them for the positive things we do. So if you think about it this way, no one likes to work for free. Not rewarding your dog for good behavior is like sending you off to go to work and your job not paying you at the end of the week. You wouldn't perform as well. You wouldn't do as well in your work. It may be a little bit sloppy, but if you knew you were getting paid at the end of the week, then you probably be a little bit more effective in your job. With dogs is a little bit different. We'll talk about timing in a second. Actually, let's move on to timing. So timing. So you want to be consistent, but then also let's talk about the timing piece, since I was just about to go into it. So you want to be consistent with your timing. Just like I was saying, if you were at your job and your boss was going to say, okay, well, ideally you get paid at the end of the week, you will understand that. Dogs do not understand if you tell them to sit and you're running around in your treat pouch, or if you don't give them a reward that they're going to get rewarded later. So in order to make positive reinforcement work for you, you want to reward them right away. So if you ask your dog to sit, give them a treat or give them a little pat on the head, because a lot of times if we're out and about, especially in cars, we don't have treats maybe. So it doesn't always have to be a treat. You can do a little pet. It could be a play, but you want to reward your dog right away and make the time in close enough so they can say, okay, well, I got that treat for sitting, instead of like, wait, I got a treat 5 minutes later. What is that for? They just don't know. So you just want to make sure you're not delaying things and that you're rewarding them right away. We're talking about treats too. Mine will go on to the number three is selecting the right rewards. Okay. So just to break it down for you, when we're talking about selecting the right rewards, it's going to be different for every single dog. You want to find out what motivates your dog. Some dogs are food motivated. Some dogs are motivated by play. I've seen like some of the craziest things, but dogs can get motivated by different things. You want to make a list of things that motivate them, and whatever is your top tier, number one, I always say use that for outside work when you're working on positive reinforcement. If you think about it, when you're going outside into the world, you're competing against all those different noises, the people and stuff like that. So if you're using just a regular old kibble treat, that's probably not going to do your job. You'll be calling your dog's name and they'll just be like looking all over the place. But if you use something, say my dog, for example, he loves cheese sticks, right? I'll bring a cheese stick out with me because that will get them close, more focused on me, and not so distracted with the world. So with that being said, no matter what training you're doing, you always want to select the right reward that's going to get your dog engaged, makes them want to learn. Inside, yes, you can use what we call lower value training treats, which are right here, just simple training treats like this. These ones are actually used indoors. They're not too stinky or smelly. Those are the higher value ones. But things like these that are lower value, you can use indoors and stuff like that. For things your dogs already know, they already know sitting down like that. But when you're going out into the real world, you want to use something that's going to be more enticing to keep your dog focused on you. And I would say that's the major number one concern that not I get, but I hear with people that are working on positive reinforcement dog trainers like, hey, well, it's going great indoors, but it doesn't work outside for me and my dog. My dog's like crazy outside. So again, even when you're working on positive reinforcement, stay consistent. The timing, you want to reward them right away and select the right rewards, but always start indoors where it's not as many distractions going on before you go outside. Because if you're taking your dog from a nice non-distracting environment and then you take them, say, to downtown wherever you live, that's too big of a jump and your dog cannot focus. You want to gradually expose them with these different skills you're trying to teach them, sits or downs in different environments, so they're not so overwhelmed. So start in your house, go to your backyard, was a little bit more distracting, go to your front yard, go on the trail, and then maybe go downtown to where you live, where it's a lot of distraction. That way you're building up your dog to be able to rehearse these behaviors in each environment instead of just thrusting them into all that distraction. Okay, so just to wrap up, consistency, stay consistent. I know sometimes come in, your schedule may change a little bit, especially if you have kiddos and stuff, but just try to stay consistent in a positive reinforcement. I promise you, you'll see things start to change. Timing is going to be crucial and key. You want to remember to reward your dog right away for the positive things that they're doing. Also, remember, if you don't have a treat or things like that, it's okay if you give your dog a little rub on the head. It's okay if have them go fetch a ball if they like to do that, or do a little bit of tug. There's other ways to reward your dog. And then the last one, selecting the right reward. And I just talked about that, using the tug, using a little pat on the head, or just simple, life rewards and stuff like that, we call them. But essentially, those are the top 3 tips that's going to get you going on positive reinforcement. That's going to make it a little bit easier for you. As always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out, drop any questions you have in the comments. If you want to watch this again, if you're looking for other lives, feel free to listen to us at Positive Dog Training Convos on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher. So look for us there. But we will be back next week with another great topic. Enjoy your time training your dog, and I'll see you then. Bye.